Good afternoon, Chuck Privatera from Westminster Consulting in the suburbs of New York City. Here to talk to you today for a couple minutes about revenue sharing and the cost of record keeping the 401k plan. So for about, depending on the type or size of plan that you're looking at, I would say 80+% of 401k plans use some form of revenue sharing, and that is either dollars from the funds, but most of these plans are using participant assets to pay for the record keeping costs. This is probably the single largest risk to fiduciary committees because the DOL scrutinizes the reasonableness of these fees. It's accepted practice, but this is really where you can get into trouble. So this begs the question, and it's not a popular question for me to be asking, but why isn't the client or the company just paying for these expenses out of the corporate checkbook? And I'll give you some color around that. If you think about, the average 401k plan cost, it's going to be about $100 to $200 per head per year. So on a 1,000-person company, we're looking at $100,000 to $200,000 per year in 401k expenditure. Compare that to the medical spend, and it's a rounding error. Yet we consistently see the risk that's being taken by plan sponsors, and most of the clients that I've spoken to, when I tell them that this is an exposure, they look at me and say, we didn't even know we could pay for these costs because they're embedded, they're not transparent, we didn't realize we could do it. How much is it going to be? And absolutely, let's just sort of rip off the Band-Aid and start paying for this. I mean, if it's a budgetary issue, you're talking about maybe adding, let's say you're increasing your healthcare contribution by $20 a month, make it, $25 a month, and you've kind of, in many cases, or $30 a month, you've made up that difference in what it's going to cost to pay for the record keeping expenses outright. So then, as a fiduciary committee, it takes away a lot of responsibility. You still have your fiduciary responsibilities to monitor the funds and make sure the fees are reasonable, but there's a lot less risk of litigation because the company's paying for the fees of the 401k plan. Hope that's helpful. This is kind of how we look at things at Westminster. This is our end game with many of our plan sponsor committees. So give us a look. Thanks.